Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
जय
Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshata. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadotam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saha Gana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vanchakalpataruvyaschа Kripa Sindhuvya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
ॐ नमो
Bhagavate
भगवते
Vasudevaya.
वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
ॐ
Namo
नमो
Bhagavate
भगवते
Vasudevaya.
वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
ॐ
Namo
नमो
Bhagavate
भगवते वासुदेवाय
Vasudevaya.
Okay, so we welcome all of you to our weekly online Krishna book classes on behalf of ISKCON Chile's Education Department. We have with us here Aja, Auntie Nita, Ritu, Jolie, Divina, Dipti Adnani. Then we have Kamala Nandini Mataji, Karuna, Lavina Dadlani, Priyanka Jha. My husband is there. Then we have Shailesh Latkar, Shantaram Latkar, Sheetal Latkar, Shivani, Shreya Kalaria, Shri Radha, we have Swami, and we have Wendy. Okay. So what did we say in the previous class?
We saw how Kalavayana ended his life, right? And also Muchikunda's past life. Then he saw Krishna in Vishnu form, right? Fourfolded. Then the importance of bhakti, importance of devotee association and bhakti marg. then we learned three miseries of material existence: Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik, and Adi Devik.
Very nice.
Then
What else?
Then we learned. We also talked about when yogis, how they fall from their spiritual path, right? If there is no bhakti,
Yes.
then then we also saw some. There is that Muchikunda cave. Is that what it is? It's still there in Gujarat.
Yes, right. Very nice. Thank you, Aja. Does anybody else want to add anything? Did we have a maths class in the previous class? Did we see the life of Brahma?
I missed saying that how to calculate Brahma's current time. We learned.
So what time is it for Brahma right now? For our Brahma?
11:40 a.m.
Yeah, approx. Yeah, it's always an approx. It can be a few minutes here and there. So yes, approximately 11:40. You can say 11:45. It's just before midday. Okay. So today, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we will be seeing chapter number 52 of the Krishna book, titled Kṛṣṇa the Raṇacora. Now, the word Raṇacora, what does that mean?
One who runs away from the
Battlefield.
battlefield.
Yes, one who runs away from the battlefield or from the war. No?
Battlefield.
Rana means
Run.
no,
Means,
Rana in Sanskrit or in Hindi means
It's a battlefield. Battlefield.
yes, it's the battlefield. And Chora means to leave, Chodna, as we say in Hindi. No, so Rana Chora means he who leaves the battlefield. So let's see this pastime. When Muchukunda, the celebrated descendant of the Ikshvaku dynasty, was favored by Lord Krishna, he circumambulated the Lord within the cave and then came out. On coming out of the cave, Muchukunda saw that the human species had surprisingly been reduced in stature to pygmy size. Similarly, the trees had also been far reduced in size, and Muchukunda could immediately understand that the current age was Kali Yuga. Therefore, without diverting his attention, he began to travel north. Eventually, he reached the mountain known as Gandha Madana, where there were many trees such as sandalwood and other flowering trees, whose fragrance made anyone who reached them joyful. He decided to remain in that Gandha Madana mountain region to execute austerities and penances for the rest of his life. It appears that this place is situated in the northernmost part of the Himalayan mountains, where the abode of Naranarayan is situated. This place is still existing and is called Badrikashrama. In Badrikashram, he engaged himself in the worship of Lord Krishna, tolerating all kinds of pains and pleasures and the other dualities of this material world. Lord Krishna returned to the vicinity of Mathura, where he fought with the soldiers of Kalayavana and killed them one after another. After this, he collected all the booty from the dead bodies, and under his direction, it was loaded on bullock carts and brought back to Dwaraka. So, we may recall from the previous class how Kalayavana entered the cave. No, Krishna, he purposely walked ahead and he led Kalayavana into the cave. So now Kalayavana has been killed because Muchukunda, he had the boon that anyone who disturbs him and wakes him up from his sleep will be burned to ashes. So he thought that the one who's sleeping inside the cave is actually Krishna, and he kicked him. And it so happened that it was Muchukunda. And therefore, Muchukunda opened his eyes and Kalayana was burnt into ashes. But Kalayana's entire army is waiting outside, no? So this army was not yet finished up. So now Krishna has finished up the army of Kalayana. Meantime, Muchukunda, when he comes out of the cave, he sees that everything is pygmy size, very, very small. So remember, as the yugas advance from Satya Yuga to Treta to Dwapara to Kali Yuga, there are many characteristics which there are many things that are reducing. No, memory is reducing, age is reducing, lifespan, health, intelligence. All these things are reducing, and another thing that reduces is the stature, the height of all the living entities. So therefore, he says that even the trees are all he's saying pygmy size, and even the human beings and trees, they're all pygmy size. So he realizes that yes, oh, this is Kali Yuga. So he decides to go to Badrikashram in the Himalayan region, and there he's performing austerities. Okay, Shailesh, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, he says that immediately he understood that the current age was Kali Yuga, but that is Dwapar Yuga, right?
No, remember he appeared in the uh, beginning of this Manvantara. So that was Satya Yuga, because the Manvantara or any cycle starts with the first Yuga, which is Satya Yuga. So when he went to sleep, it was Satya Yuga. And now when he's woken up, it is Kali Yuga.
But Krishna woke him up, and I mean, not Krishna woke him up, but
Yeah,
Kalavan
now
woke
I
him up.
understood. So yeah, because Krishna is Dwapar Yuga. Actually, this is the end of Dwapar Yuga. No, Dwapar Yuga, the duration of Dwapar Yuga is 8,64,000 years. Out of that 8,64,000 years, almost the whole Yuga has ended, and this is the end of the Dwapar Yuga. When Krishna appeared, it was almost the end of Dwapar Yuga, and the Kali Yuga was on the verge of beginning. So already the characteristics of Kali Yuga were visible. Okay.
Madaji, can I ask you something? So in
Yes.
Satya Yuga, there is dark energy. Satya Yuga also has dark energy.
No, in Satya Yuga, religiosity is followed 100%. Everybody in the Satya Yuga, they are all self-realized souls. They are
But
all
then
following.
when was Indra using Muchukunda then? After that, maybe?
Yeah, Indra was using Muchukunda but these demons are not on the earthly planet. They are in the other planetary systems. That war and all is happening, not on the
Okay.
earthly planet. That is on the higher planetary systems.
Okay.
So see here, I put this commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He has written this commentary on the last verse of the previous chapter, where Krishna is telling Muchukunda, O king, in your very next life, you will become an excellent Brahmana, the greatest well-wisher of all creatures, and certainly come to me alone. Because this was one question some of you asked in two classes before that. Did Muchukunda attain moksha? No. So here we can see Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains. Muchukunda asks, when will I become your associate? Krishna answers in this verse, after leaving this body, you will go to my abode in Vaikuntha. So yes, he did get liberation. Krishna says, I give liberation and also residence in Vaikuntha even to my enemies in this incarnation. So what to speak of an exalted devotee like you? In my past times, in a future incarnation, Janmani Anantare, you will associate with me as an essential participant. In your very next birth, you will be the best friend of all living entities. Sarva Bhuta Suhritamaha. At that time, you and I will act for their benefit by giving them transcendental knowledge as suits the circumstances. Becoming a universally respected and learned Brahmana, Dvijavara, you will attain me alone due to your lack of possessiveness and mood of renunciation. In other words, you will remain in my association. So Krishna said that at the end of this life, so he has gone to the Gandha Madana mountains and he is performing austerities. And at the end of that life, he goes to Vaikuntha. And then after that, he comes back as an associate of Krishna, to associate with Krishna in his Leela. So one thing is to be there in Vaikuntha, and another thing is to be a part of the pastimes along with Krishna. So Krishna says, in the next lifetime, you will be born as a Brahmana, and then you will have association with me. So this is what happened to Muchukunda. So Brahmanas are called as Dvijavara. What do we mean by Dvijavara?
Twice born.
Yes, twice born. So why are Brahmanas called as twice born?
Because first they are
Because
born
then
with their mother wombs, and the second guru gives them the second life to give them initiation for spiritual life to begin to practice their spiritual life.
Okay, so Dvija means twice born, which means that they have two births. One birth is from the mother, the biological mother, and second birth is from the spiritual master. So the spiritual master is the spiritual father, no? So they get two births. How many others in the Varnashram system are Dvijas? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. How many of them are Dvijas?
I think Brahmana.
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4, yes. Who are they?
The Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Brahmanas.
Yes, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, they are all Dvijas because they go to the Gurukul, they accept a spiritual master. The Shudras, they are not spiritually inclined, they don't like. So they are not attracted to spirituality, so they don't go to the Gurukul and they don't receive formal education. They don't accept formal initiation from a Guru. So therefore, they're not Dvija. But Dvija Vara means what? Vara means?
Own blessing.
The word Vara means best, best. So Brahmanas are Dvija Varas, means they are the best amongst the twice born. Dvija means twice born and Vara means the best. So Brahmanas are the best amongst the twice born. Why? Because they are most spiritually inclined as compared to Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. Therefore, Brahmanas are called as Dvija Varas. They're also called as Dvija Shrestha. Dvija Shrestha means again that they are the best amongst the twice born. Yeah, Lavina, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, when you go to Vaikunta and you get liberation, are you going to be reborn from there? As
Yeah.
Krishna told him, you'll be reborn as a Brahmin?
Yes, very good question, very intelligent question. So, see, when we go to the spiritual world, when we go to Vaikunta and we go to Goloka, we don't come back. That is Krishna's promise. But under an extraordinary situation, in order to fulfill the desire of his devotee, because here Muchukunda's desire is that he wants to associate with Krishna. No, his desire is not to go to Vaikunta. His desire is to have association of Krishna. But here Krishna did not allow him to associate with him or be a part of his pastimes because he's extraordinarily tall. We saw that in the previous class. So in order to fulfill the desire of Muchukunda, Krishna brings him back to be a part of his leelas. Now, when one is personally present, even though from the external angle of vision, one is on the earthly planet and a part of Krishna's pastimes, you're still in the spiritual world because you are personally having Krishna's association. So even though from the external angle of vision you are on the material in the material world, but actually you are in the spiritual world. So this is how we understand. So all these eternal associates of Krishna like Arjuna and Rukmini and Srimati Radharani, all the gopis, even Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, they are all eternal associates of Krishna. No, it's not that they are on this. They when Krishna comes, he brings his personal associates with them down, not because of their karma like us, but because they are a part of his eternal pastimes. So they are actually from the internal angle of vision in the spiritual world. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome. Okay. Meanwhile, Jarasandha again attacked Mathura, this time with bigger divisions of soldiers numbering 23 Akshohinis. Lord Sri Krishna wanted to save Mathura from the 18th attack of the great military divisions of King Jarasandha. To prevent further killing of soldiers and to attend to other important business, Lord Krishna left the battlefield without fighting. Actually, he was not at all afraid, but he pretended to be an ordinary human being, frightened by the immense quantity of soldiers and resources of Jarasandha. Without any weapons, Krishna left the battlefield. Although his lotus feet were as soft as the petals of a lotus flower, he proceeded for a very long distance on foot. So remember now, Jarasandha, he has already attacked 17 times in the past. And every time he has brought a huge group of soldiers, warriors to fight, and every time Krishna has finished them. Now he has attacked for the 18th time, and now he has come back with an even bigger army. This time he has brought 23 Akshohinis, 23 Akshohinis. In the entire, Akshohini is a calculation of so many soldiers, so many chariots, so many elephants, so many horses together, then they are called as one Akshohini. So the military strength would be calculated by how many Akshohinis this particular king has, like that they would see the military strength. So previously, when he attacked, he didn't come with 23 Akshohinis. Now he has come with 23 Akshohinis. In the Mahabharata, for example, the entire number of warriors on the battlefield, Pandavas and the Kauravas included, the total strength was 11 Akshohinis. The Kauravas had 11 and the Kauravas had 7 and the Pandavas had 5. 7 and 5. It's 12, no? Or it was 11. Okay, somewhere I'm making a mistake. But anyway, so this is far bigger than the strength of the Pandavas and the Kauravas put together in the Mahabharata war. So the bottom line is here Jarasandha has come with a huge army. And Krishna now decides that he has other important business to do. So he doesn't want to fight these soldiers and he starts to walk away from the battlefield. What's this other important business? We will see. Actually, let's see how many Akshohinis were there in the Mahabharata.
Is it eliminating all the demons?
No, that was previously, but now he has another important business to do.
Okay.
I think Kauravas had 11 akshara, 11 this thing.
Yes, you're
Akshara.
right. 11, yeah, here yeah, correct. The Kauravas had 11 and the Pandavas had
The
7. So
Pandavas had
total was
7.
18 Akshahinis. Yes, total was
Yes.
18. Yeah. But here he has come with 23. Okay. This time, Jarasandha thought that Krishna and Balaram were very much afraid of his military strength and were fleeing the battlefield. He followed them with all his chariots, horses, and infantry. He thought Krishna and Balaram to be ordinary human beings, and he was trying to measure the activities of the Lord. Due to this pastime, Krishna is known as Raṇacora, which means one who has left the battlefield. In India, especially in Gujarat, there are many temples of Krishna known as temples of Raṇacora ji. Ordinarily, if a king leaves the battlefield without fighting, he is called a coward. But when Krishna enacts this pastime, leaving the battlefield without fighting, he is worshipped by the devotees. A demon always tries to measure the opulence of Krishna, whereas a devotee never tries to measure his strength and opulence, but always surrenders unto him and worships him. By following in the footsteps of pure devotees, we can know that Krishna, the Raṇacora, left the battlefield not because he was afraid, but because he had some other purpose. The purpose, as it will be revealed, was to attend to a confidential letter sent by Rukmini, his future first wife. Krishna's leaving the battlefield is a display of one of his 6 opulences. Krishna is the supreme powerful, the supreme wealthy, the supreme famous, the supreme wise, and the supreme beautiful. Similarly, he is a supreme renouncer. Srimad Bhagavatam clearly states that he left the battlefield in spite of having an ample military strength. Even without his militia, he alone would have been sufficient to defeat the army of Jarasandha, as he had done 17 times before. Therefore, his leaving the battlefield is an example of his supermost opulence renunciation. So a non-devotee will think that, oh, Krishna left the battlefield because he's afraid. But a devotee knows that Krishna has unlimited strength. So there is no question of Krishna being afraid. No, Krishna also had a huge army, Narayani Sena. But even without the Sena, even without the army, Krishna single-handedly can just defeat this entire army effortlessly. Why? Because Krishna is God. And God is that personality who has 6 opulences, and that too to unlimited extent. This is the definition of God as given to us by Parashara Muni. Parashara Muni was the father of Dronacharya, and he has given who is God. So the definition of God is he who has all 6 opulences to an unlimited degree. So what are the 6 opulences? Here Srila Prabhupada writes, he is the
Supreme
most
power,
powerful.
wealthy, famous, wise,
Yes.
wealthy, famous,
Right. So he's the most
beautiful, and
powerful,
beautiful.
he's the most wealthy, he's the most famous, he's the most wise, and he's the most beautiful personality. Here you have 5. And 6th is he is also the most renounced person. He
Renouncer.
is the supreme renouncer. Renouncer means he's not attached, holding on to what he has. He just lets go. No, he's renounced. So here Krishna is showing his opulence of being the most renounced by running away from the battlefield. Even though he can do it, it doesn't matter to him. He's going off because he has something more important to attend to. After traversing a very long distance, the brothers pretended to become tired. To mitigate their weariness, they climbed up a mountain many miles above sea level. This mountain was called Pravarshana due to constant rain, for the peak was always covered with clouds sent by Indra. Jarasandha took it for granted that the 2 brothers were afraid of his military power and had hidden themselves at the top of the mountain. First he tried to find them, searching for a long time, but when he failed, he decided to trap and kill them by setting fires around the peak. He therefore surrounded the peak with firewood and set it ablaze. As the fire spread more and more, Krishna and Balaram jumped from the top of the mountain down to the ground, a distance of 88 miles. Thus, while the peak was burning up, Krishna and Balaram escaped unseen by Jarasandha or his men. Jarasandha concluded that the two brothers had burned to ashes and that there was no need of further fighting. Thinking himself successful in his efforts, he left the kingdom of Mathura and returned to his home in the kingdom of Magadha. Gradually, Krishna and Balaram reached the city of Dwarka, which was surrounded by the sea. So they have gone on top of the mountain, Krishna and Balaram, and Jarasandha sets the mountain ablaze, and he thinks that they have been burned to death. But Krishna and Balaram, they have jumped from the mountain, a distance of how many miles?
88.
88.
88 miles, no? And Jarasandha, now he has returned to his kingdom. And let's see where Krishna and Balaram, they go to Dwarka. Now let's see what happens. Following this, Sri Balaramji married Revati, daughter of King Raivata, ruler of Anartha province. This is explained in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. After the marriage of Baladev, Krishna married Rukmini. Rukmini was the daughter of King Bhishmaka, ruler of the province known as Vidarbha. Just as Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, Vasudev, Rukmini is the supreme goddess of fortune, Mahalakshmi. According to the authority of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the expansion of Krishna and that of Srimati Radharani are simultaneous. Krishna expands himself into various Vishnu Tattva forms, and Srimati Radharani expands herself into various Shakti Tattva forms by her internal potency as multi forms of the goddess of fortune. So before Krishna got married, Balaram was married. To whom?
To Revati.
Raivata.
Yes,
Revati.
Balaram's wife's name is Revati. So in the
Revati.
previous canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, you can read the story of the marriage of Balaram with Revati. It's described how Revati was extremely beautiful. She was exceptionally beautiful, very talented. And her father decided to consult with Lord Brahma because he is the senior-most person within the universe. Brahma is the first created Jiva. So he said, okay, who can be a good match for my daughter who's so beautiful, so talented? So he said, I'm going to go and consult with none other than Lord Brahma himself. So he goes to Lord Brahma. And at that time, Lord Brahma, he is busy because he was listening to the musical performance by the Gandharvas. So that time, Revati's father, he waited for some time. And as soon as the performance was over, then he speaks to Lord Brahma and he asks Lord Brahma that who do you think would be a good match for my daughter? At that time, Brahma laughed very loudly and said something. What do you think he said? What do you think Brahma said?
A little clue, Mataji.
What's that?
Revati is a perfect match for the Balram.
That he said, but why did he laugh? Why did he laugh?
Because she was too tall, maybe?
She was too tall
For that age, yeah.
compared to what?
Balram.
They're the perfect match.
Compared to Balram.
Yeah, okay, I understand. See, yes, Balaram is very much qualified to marry his daughter. Fine, but the question is, why did Brahma laugh? And if she's tall, then compared to what she's tall?
To her husband?
Maybe Balaram was very tall for her.
Who was very tall?
Balaram was very tall for no, for Revati.
Why do you think that Balaram was very tall for Revati?
He was tall and she was becoming short because of his instrument in the hand, the pillow.
The question is so that's why Brahma laughed?
No,
The question is, why did Brahma laugh?
We
He's
don't
gone to
know.
Brahma Loka. And Lord Brahma was hearing a performance, and so he had to wait for some time, and then they speak. So then first thing what Brahma did when he heard this query is he laughed. Why did he laugh? What has happened? What do you think? Connect this with the maths we did in the previous class.
Is it because Brahmaji is in the material world and Balram is in the spiritual world? So he was thinking that it's stupid of him to come to him to for his Revati's father to ask this question because she is qualified to marry someone from who is from spiritual world, who is beyond someone who is beyond he's from beyond Brahmaloka.
See, the suggestion that Revati should be married to Balaram came from Lord Brahma. It's not that Revati's father is saying that I want to get my daughter married to Balaram.
Because they're a match in every pastime.
Yes. So Brahma will laugh for that?
Because it's preordained.
Okay, listen. The point is, we have to understand and always remember that the time frame on the earthly planet and the time frame in Brahma Loka is not the same. 1 minute of Lord Brahma is equal to 6 million years of our earthly planet. We can also do that maths. If you want, we can do the maths. So the point is, Lord Brahma laughs and he says that when you have come here and you waited for some time, so many millions of years have already passed on earth. And all those people that you would have had in your mind as good matches for your daughter, they have all passed away, they have all departed. Hmm. And all your entire family and their children and their children and their children and so many generations, they've already departed from the planet because he was there waiting in those few minutes of his waiting there. All these generations have already departed from the earthly planet. That's why Brahma has laughed, because there is the time on earthly plane and the time on Brahma's planet, there is a huge difference, huge difference.
Sorry, so Mataji, so he laughed because he knew this would happen, or he laughed because they had come late, or I don't know, I'm not clear.
No, he laughed because he's telling his father that while you were here, all those people who you thought in your mind would have been good matches, they have all departed, they have all died, they have all passed away because many years have gone. That's why he laughed.
Maybe before it was not the right time. They
Of course,
never
that
thought.
everything is
Yeah.
preordained. Of course, that is there. But see now, Sri Radha has put the shlokas in the chat. Actually, let's go to that particular verse in the Veda
Hare
base.
Krishna, Mataji, if
Yes.
Brahma had made the match, why did he go to Brahma to ask him if it's a good match?
No, Brahma has not yet made the match. Let's see the sequence of events here. One second. The thing is, he has gone to ask Brahma what would be a good match for my daughter. Who could be a good match for my daughter? And he has waited. So Brahma is saying that in you waiting here, you came to Brahmaloka and you have waited for a few minutes. But in those few minutes, actually on the earthly planet, millions of years have already passed. So that's why he's laughing, and he's saying that all these people have already departed and many generations post them, everybody has departed. So that's why he laughed. And then he says, but there is one person who could be a good match for your daughter, and that who is right now on earth, and that personality is Balaram. Like that.
So he is a perfect match for her.
Okay.
Yes. Let's go to where in the Veda base was this? I think it's
9:33. 9 canto and 3 chapter and 3 verse.
The Krishna married Rukmani.
1 second. Let me share my screen. So here it is. It's in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, chapter 3, verses somewhere down it was 30. Okay. See here. King Saryati begot 3 sons, namely Uttanabarhi, Anartha, and Burishena. From Anartha came a son named Revata. O Maharaj Parikshit, subduer of the enemies, this Revata constructed a kingdom known as Kushasthali in the depths of the ocean. There he lived and ruled such tracts of lands as Anartha, etc. He had 100 very nice sons, of whom the eldest was Kakudmi. Taking his own daughter Revati, Kakudmi, so this is the name of Revati's father. Taking his own daughter Revati, Kakudmi went to Lord Brahma and Brahmaloka, which is transcendental to the 3 modes of material nature, and inquired about a husband for her. When Kakudmi arrived there, Lord Brahma was engaged in hearing musical performances by the Gandharvas and had not a moment to talk with him. Therefore, Kakudmi waited, and at the end of the musical performance, he offered his obeisances to Lord Brahma and thus submitted his long standing desire. After hearing his words, Lord Brahma, who was most powerful, laughed loudly and said to Kakudmi, O king, all those whom you may have decided within the core of your heart to accept as your son-in-law have passed away in the course of time. 27 Chatur Yugas have already passed. So how much time has gone? 27 Chatur Yugas. What's a Chatur Yuga? Chatur Yuga is the same as a Divya Yuga. Divya Yuga is we saw last time, the sum total of Satya Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. All these 4 yugas put together is one Divya Yuga. It is also called as Maha Yuga. It is also called as Chatur Yuga. So Brahma is saying that 27 Chatur Yugas have already passed. Those upon whom you have decided are now gone, and so are their sons, grandsons, and other descendants. You cannot even hear about their names. O king, leave here and offer your daughter to Lord Baladev, who is still present. He is most powerful. Indeed, he is a supreme personality of Godhead, whose plenary portion is Lord Vishnu. Your daughter is fit to be given to him in charity. So this is how then Balaram was married to Revati. And yes, Revati was extraordinarily tall because she came from another yugas. Imagine, she was there from 27 Chatur yugas before. So she's extraordinarily tall, and Balaram was doing his pastimes on the earthly planet. So his height was according to that particular yuga. And therefore then Balaram, by placing his plow on her, he reduced her height so that they are both of a suitable height, and then they got married. So this is the story of Balaram. Balaram's marriage to Revati. So how many years is 27 Chatur Yugas? You want to do the math, so you want to do it as a homework. What do you want to do?
Homework.
Okay, so for your homework, I want you to calculate how much is 27 Chatur Yugas. You work it out on a sheet of paper and you send me the photos on my WhatsApp. Okay. If you can do this, you will get 10 extra points if you arrive at the correct answer. 10 points I'm going to add to your scores.
Mataji, who is the father of Revati?
Kakudmi, his name was. What's that?
The father of the Revati. She was asking.
Oh, I thought it was Kakudmi or no?
No, it's given here.
Here it is Raivata. Maybe
No,
it
it's,
had another name. But did the Veda
no,
say
it's
something else?
Kakudmi. It's Kakudmi, you yourself said now, just now. And it was written in that verse also.
Yeah. So here in the Bhagavatam, it says that Kakudmi was the name of Revati's father. And here in Krishna book, it says that his name was Raivata. So one king can have many names. One king can have many names. So both names are correct. Okay, both names are correct. Both are within the Shastras. Can you see my screen or no?
Yes.
Not Not yet.
Now you can see, right?
It's just yeah, now we can see.
Okay. According to Vedic convention, there are 8 kinds of marriage. In the first class marriage system, the parents of the bride and bridegroom arrange the marriage date. Then, in royal style, the bridegroom goes to the house of the bride, and in the presence of brahmanas, priests, and relatives, the bride is given in charity to the bridegroom. Besides this, there are other systems such as Gandharva and Rakshasa marriages. Krishna married Rukmini according to the Rakshasa system, kidnapping her in the presence of his many rivals like Shishupal, Jarasandha, and Shalva. While Rukmini was being given in charity to Shishupal, Krishna snatched her from the marriage arena exactly as Garuda snatched a pot of nectar from the demigods. Rukmini, the only daughter of King Bhishmaka. So now we have another, I'm sorry, this is Rukmini's father's name is Bhishmaka. Rukmini, the only daughter of King Bhishmaka, was exquisitely beautiful. She was known as Ruchira Nana, which means one who has a beautiful face expanded like a lotus flower. So uh, Krishna's first wife Rukmini, they got married under the Rakshasa marriage, Rakshasa Vivah. So there are different kinds of marriage ceremonies. There are 8 kinds of marriage ceremonies. The topmost marriage ceremony is, or the marriage system is, that when the bridegroom goes to the house of the bride in the presence of brahmanas, priests, and relatives, and the bride is given in charity to the bridegroom. So that's why the marriage is called, in the marriage they have a kanya dan. Dan means charity, no? So the parents of the bride, they do kanya dan, which means that they give the bride in charity to the groom, and the groom goes to the house of the bride. So this is the first class marriage system. But Krishna and Rukmini, they married according to the Rakshasa system. Why Rakshasa? Because he had to kidnap her. He kidnapped her. And why did he kidnap her? Because she was the one who wrote to Krishna that please come and kidnap me. Yeah, Aja, you have your hand raised.
Yes, Mataji. Why do they say the marriage it's as a charity, giving charity?
Yeah, because in this first class marriage system, which is the Brahma Vivaha, there is no exchange of any kind of wealth. No money is interchanged. Neither the groom gives any money to the bride, nor the bride gives any money to the groom. But the father is giving the bride to the boy. No, so he is giving away his daughter in charity. He is not expecting anything in return. So when you give something away without expecting anything in return, that is called as a charity. So that's why in Hindi we call it as, what we say in the
Kanyadan.
Kanyadan. Yes, Kanyadan. So this is the first class marriage system, Brahma Vivaha. So there are 8 kinds of marriages. Brahma Vivaha, we already explained what is Brahma Vivaha. And then there is Daiva Vivaha. You can read all these things in this link that I have provided. No, in this link you have a very nice detailed explanation of the different kinds of marriages. This Gandharva Vivaha is like the modern day love marriage, where the boy and the girl, they choose their partners and they get married. And Paishacha Vivaha is the worst kind of marriage, is where there is force and compulsion on the bride, and there may be also assault, physical assault, verbal assault, sexual assault on the girl. So this is the worst kind of marriage. And the best is the Brahma Vivaha. Details of other marriages you can see here in this link. Okay. So this you read. Okay. Devotees of Krishna are always eager to hear about the transcendental activities of the Lord. His activities of fighting, kidnapping, and running away from the battlefield are all transcendental, being on the absolute platform, and devotees take a transcendental interest in hearing of them. The pure devotee does not make the distinction that some activities of the Lord should be heard and others avoided. There is, however, a class of so-called devotees known as Prakritya Sahajiyas, who are very interested in hearing about Krishna's Rasa Leela with the gopis, but not about his fighting with his enemies. They do not know that his bellicose activities and his friendly activities with the gopis are equally transcendental, being on the absolute platform. All the transcendental pastimes of Krishna described in Srimad Bhagavatam are relished by pure devotees through submissive oral reception. They do not reject even a drop. So, a pure devotee of Krishna, it doesn't matter whether Krishna is doing the Damodar Leela with his mother, or he's killing the demons, or he's dancing with the gopis, or he's running away from the battlefield, or his marriage, whatever pastime it may be, a pure devotee would relish any pastime of Krishna. Unlike these Prakrita Sahajyas who only want to talk about Krishna's Rasa Leela. But when there are pastimes of Krishna running away from the battlefield or Krishna stealing butter, then they say no, that pastime is not good, because Krishna is robbing, Krishna is stealing. What kind of God is Krishna who's stealing stuff like that? No. So here Srila Prabhupada explains that actually a pure devotee wants to hear everything about Krishna. They don't want to miss even a single drop. And how do they hear? How do they relish? By through submissive oral reception. So submissiveness. Now here you can see when the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Sukadeva Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit. Sukadeva Goswami was only 16 years old, 1-6. He was only 16 years old. But here you can see in the audience there were very, very elite personalities, very senior devotees. His own father here, Vyasadeva, was also present in the audience. No? So Sukadeva Goswami is sitting on the elevated platform because he is the speaker. So he's made to sit on the elevated platform because he's speaking the Srimad Bhagavatam, and in the audience you have great elevated personalities like Vyasadeva, his own father, and also Narada Muni. Narada Muni is actually the spiritual master of Vyasadeva, who is his father. So like this, and many other great personalities, they have gathered from different parts of the universe in order to hear this great narration from the lotus lips of Sri Sukadeva Goswami. So they are all hearing through submissive oral reception. So this is a pure devotee.
Mataji, can you please repeat what was there in the letter which Rukmani wrote to Sri Krishna to come and kidnap
To come
her?
and kidnap her because she is in love with Krishna. But we will read the letter in detail now in the future slides.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. The story of Krishna's marriage with Rukmini is described as follows. The king of Vidarbha, Maharaj Bhishmaka, was very qualified and devoted. He had 5 sons and only 1 daughter. The first son was known as Rukmi, the second Rukmaratha, the third Rukmabahu, the fourth Rukmakesha, and the fifth Rukmamali. The brothers had 1 young sister, Rukmini. She was beautiful and chaste and was meant to be married to Lord Krishna. Many saintly persons and sages like Narada Muni used to visit the palace of King Bhishmaka. Naturally, Rukmini had a chance to talk with them, and in this way she obtained information about Krishna. She was informed about the 6 opulences of Krishna, and simply by hearing about him, she desired to surrender herself to his lotus feet and become his wife. So Rukmini has decided that she wants to surrender herself to the lotus feet of Krishna and become the wife of Krishna. Now, has Rukmini seen Krishna? Has she seen him?
No.
She has not seen him,
No.
no? There is no question of any photograph either. So she has not seen him personally. She has not seen any picture of him. But she has heard about Krishna from the great personalities like Narada Muni who are visiting the palace of her father. So she has heard about the opulences of Krishna, and just by hearing about him, she now wants to marry him. Krishna had also heard of Rukmini. So even Krishna has heard about Rukmini. She was a reservoir of all transcendental qualities, intelligence, auspicious physical features, liberal mindedness, exquisite beauty, and righteous behavior. Krishna therefore decided that she was fit to be his wife. All of the relatives of King Bhishmaka decided that Rukmini should be given in marriage to Krishna. But her elder brother Rukmi, despite the desire of the others, arranged for her marriage with Shishupal, a determined enemy of Krishna. When the black-eyed, beautiful Rukmini heard of the settlement, she immediately became very morose. However, being a king's daughter, she understood political diplomacy and decided that there was no use in simply being morose. Some steps should be taken immediately. After some deliberation, she decided to send a message to Krishna, and so that she might not be deceived, she selected a qualified Brahmana as her messenger. Such a qualified Brahmana is always truthful and is a devotee of Vishnu. Without delay, she sent the Brahmana to Dwaraka. So Rukmini's brother wants her to get married to Shishupal, but Rukmini has already given her heart to Krishna. Now, because she's a Kshatriya, she belongs to a Kshatriya family, she understands the political situation, and therefore she decides that she's not going to sit with the problem, she is going to solve the problem. So she chooses a very, very confidential Brahmana messenger, and through the Brahmana messenger, she is going to send a message to Krishna. Let's see.
Mataji, Shishupal is connected to, related to Krishna?
Shishupal is, yes, he is related to Krishna. He's his cousin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember hearing like that. Okay.
Yeah, he's his cousin. And then later he was still that we'll see later in the Krishna book, it's described.
Okay.
Reaching the gate of Dwaraka, the Brahmana informed the doorkeeper of his arrival, and the doorkeeper led him to the place where Krishna was sitting on the golden throne. Since the Brahmana had the opportunity to be Rukmini's messenger, he was fortunate enough to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the original cause of all causes. A Brahmana is the spiritual teacher of all the social divisions. Lord Krishna, in order to teach everyone the Vedic etiquette of how to respect a Brahmana, immediately got up and offered him his throne. When the Brahmana was seated on the golden throne, Lord Sri Krishna began to worship him exactly as the demigods worship Krishna. In this way, he taught everyone that worshipping his devotee is more valuable than worshipping him. So, how does Krishna receive this Brahmana messenger?
With all respect, that's why he got up from
Vedic
his seat and offered
Immediately
him
he
his.
got up, right? Immediately he got up. So this is one thing very, very, when we receive even guests, not only Brahmanas or Vaishnavas, but even when we receive any guest, one should get up and receive that person. That is Vedic etiquette. That is Vedic etiquette. So here Krishna immediately he got up from his seat, and and this is a Brahmana, no? So he has received the Brahmana, and he even offered his own seat to the Brahmana to be seated. So this is how one should respect a devotee, one should respect a Brahmana.
But
Then,
if we do the same thing now, Mataji, the people will ask why you are getting up, right? If we do the same respect when someone comes.
when somebody comes to your house, you continue to remain seated or you get up to receive the
No,
guest?
not in the house. House, I will not in the house, but in public places, like if we go to the temple or somewhere.
Yeah,
When
okay. Yeah.
somebody will,
So temple is a public place. There are many people coming, but when an exalted personality comes, for example, if a sannyasi has come, if a guru has come, or if a very, very senior devotee has come, we should stand up to offer respects to that person. Yes. Not only stand up, actually, we should offer obeisances to that person. If he's an exalted Vaishnava, if he's a guru, if he's a sannyasi, then you must get up and offer obeisances to that person. Okay? We don't continue to remain seated. Just imagine a sannyasi has entered and you continue to remain seated there.
no,
No,
no, yeah, I
that's
know
a
that.
lack of respect. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do that. Now, what I'm talking about, sometimes, oh no, it's okay. What I meant was, if you respect people who are not very older than you, but sometimes when you get up, I have been asked by many people, oh, why did you get up? You just sit. They will always say that when you show respect, like getting up and
Yeah. Actually, seniority is not decided by age. Seniority is decided by one's spiritual advancement. So we saw how Sukadeva Goswami, he's only 16 years old. But even his father was in the audience at a lower level. No, he's sitting in a more exalted place, and the others are at a lower seating place. And even the spiritual master of his father is in the audience and hearing. So spiritual advancement is not decided by age. Seniority is not decided by age. Seniority is decided by how much advanced one is spiritually. That is what decides
Oh,
superiority.
okay.
And see this line. In this way, he taught everyone that worshipping his devotee is more valuable than worshipping him. So who should be worshipped? Krishna should be worshipped or his devotee should be worshipped?
Devotee.
His devotee.
Devotees.
His devotee should be worshipped. But we are worshipping Krishna in the temples. We have deities of Krishna in the temples.
Under the instructions of the devotees, we are worshipping Krishna in the temple. Under the instructions of devotees, under the association of devotees.
Yes, because the devotee wants us to worship Krishna, therefore we are worshipping Krishna. See here, very nice verse from the Padma Purana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is quoting this verse from the Padma Purana. And this verse is actually originally spoken by Lord Shiva to his wife, goddess Durga. He says, Aradhanam Sarvesham, Vishnur Aradhanam Param. Of all the Aradhanas, of all the worship, Sarvesham means all, of all the worship, Vishnur Aradhanam Param. The worship of Lord Vishnu is Param, is topmost. Tasmat Parataram Devi. Even higher than that, O Devi, is Tadiyanam Samarchanam, is the worship of those who are connected to Lord Vishnu. What kind of people are connected to the Lord? Of course, his devotees. So, Lord Shiva is telling Goddess Durga, my dear Devi, although the Vedas recommend the worship of the demigods, the worship of Lord Vishnu is topmost. However, above the worship of Lord Vishnu is the rendering of service to Vaishnavas who are related to Lord Vishnu. So, Vaishnava Seva is very, 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 very powerful. In the Chaitanya Leela, there was this pastime. Yesterday, I gave this class on Jiva Goswami. How Jiva Goswami, he travels to Navadvip and he meets Lord Nityananda and Lord Nityananda embraces him. Now, Lord Nityananda is Guru Tattva and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. So that time Jiva Goswami tells Lord Nityananda that if the Lord rejects one, then there is some hope because then you will embrace that person, you will accept that person, which means that if God rejects someone, still there is hope because a Vaishnava or Guru, Tattva, or the spiritual master will still embrace that person because a devotee of the Lord is more merciful than the Lord. Then Jiva Goswami says, but if one is rejected by you, O Lord Nityananda, then for that person there is no hope. Which means that if one is rejected by the spiritual master, one is rejected by the guru, one is rejected by a Vaishnava, then for that person there is no hope. Because Lord Chaitanya or Krishna or the Lord is very much displeased when his devotees are offended. So therefore, even if Krishna rejects us, there is hope for us because we can take the shelter of the spiritual master or the shelter of a Vaishnava. But if the Vaishnava or the spiritual master rejects us, then for us there is no hope because the Lord is also displeased by such a person. So, therefore, the rendering of service to Vaishnavas is a very, very powerful service. And then there's one more quote here from the Adi Purana and also is there in the Lagu Bhagavatamrita. Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna, those who are my direct devotees are actually not my devotees. But those who are the devotees of my servant are factually my devotees. So Krishna is saying, those who say you are my devotee, actually they are not my devotees. But those who are devotees of my servant, they are really my devotees. Very, very powerful instruction. See here, in the Skanda Purana, there is a similar statement. Persons whose bodies are marked with tilak, symbolizing the conch shell, wheel, club, and lotus, and who keep the leaves of tulsi on their heads, and whose bodies are always decorated with gopi chandan, even seen once, can help the seer be relieved from all sinful activities. So a Vaishnava is so powerful. Just by seeing a Vaishnava who is decorated with tilak, who has the tulsi neck beads around his neck, just by seeing a Vaishnava, one can burn all the sinful activities. This is the potency and power of a Vaishnava. Persons who put tulsi beads on their neck, who mark 12 places of their bodies as Vishnu temples with Vishnu's symbolic representations, the four items held in the four hands of Lord Vishnu, conch, mace, disc, and lotus, who have Vishnu tilak on their foreheads, are to be understood as the devotees of Lord Vishnu in the world. Their presence makes the world purified, and anywhere they remain, they make that place as good as Vaikuntha. So anywhere where there is a Vaishnava whose body is marked with tilak, no Vishnu tilak. So there are 12 places with 12 mantras. We put the tilak. Previously, I have shared in the group how it's very, very important to put the Vaishnava tilak on your 12 places in the body with the particular mantra. If you can't put a visible tilak for any reason, if you're going to a place where you cannot be seen with the visible tilak, then you can put the tilak with water. So that you put the tilak with water with that mantra. So the tilak is invisible, but it is there because you have put it with the water and with the particular mantra. So if you put these 12 tilak every day, it's a very, very powerful protection also for you from this contamination in the material world. And anybody, and wherever a Vaishnava is there, he purifies that place. This is what is said in this verse from the Padma Purana. And they can make that place as good as Vaikuntha. So it doesn't matter if one is in the material world, but if you are in devotee association, then that place is as good as Vaikuntha. And see the importance of wearing tilak. Persons who are decorated with tilak or gopi chandan, a kind of clay resembling the fuller's earth that is produced in certain quarters of Vrindavan, and who mark their bodies all over with the holy names of the Lord, and on whose neck and breast there are tulsi beads, are never approached by the Yamadutas. So if you have your tulsi neck beads around your neck and your body is marked with tilak, you will never be approached by Yamadutas, because Yamaraj has given this instruction to the Yamadutas. Do not go near a Vaishnava. Don't go near, because the Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Lord, are beyond the jurisdiction of Yamadutas and Yamaraj. So therefore, anybody who has tulsi neck beads and his body is marked with tilak is a mark that this person is a devotee. So the Yamadutas don't even go near that person. A person who is decorated with the pulp of sandalwood with paintings of the holy name of the Lord is delivered from all sinful reactions, and after his death, he goes directly to Krishna Loka to live in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why the passing away of a Vaishnava is actually not a reason to lament. Passing away of a Vaishnava is a time to celebrate, because when a Vaishnava passes away, he has gone back home, back to Godhead, to live directly in Krishna Loka in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why the both appearance and disappearance of a Vaishnava, both are auspicious. Both are auspicious. Okay, coming back to Krishna book. In due time, the Brahmana took his bath, accepted his meals, and lay down to rest on a bedstead and completely bedecked, on a bedstead completely bedecked with soft silk. As he was resting, Lord Krishna silently approached and with great respect put the Brahmana's legs on his lap and began to massage them. In this way, Krishna appeared before the Brahmana and said, "My dear Brahmana, I hope that you are executing the religious principles without difficulty and that your mind is always peaceful. Different classes of people in the social system are engaged in various professions, and when one inquires as to the well-being of a particular person, he should do so on the basis of that person's occupation. Therefore, when one inquires as to the welfare of a Brahmana, the question should be worded according to his condition of life so as to not disturb him. A peaceful mind is the basis for becoming truthful, clean, equipoised, self-controlled, and tolerant. Thus, by attaining knowledge and knowing its practical application in life, one becomes convinced about the absolute truth. The Brahmana knew Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and still he accepted the respectful service of the Lord on the grounds of Vedic social convention. Lord Sri Krishna was playing just like a human being because he belonged to the Kshatriya division of the social system and was a young boy. It was his duty to show respect to such a Brahmana. So Krishna, of course, he is God, but he's playing the role of an ordinary human being. He's playing the role of a Kshatriya. So he has provided a nice resting place for the Brahmana, and he even puts the legs of the Brahmana on his lap and he's massaging his feet. This is the kind of respect he's giving to this Brahmana. Actually, he gave this respect to any Brahmana who came to his palace in Dwarka who came to meet him. Can you think of other brahmanas whose feet Krishna washed?
Was it Kuchela?
Sudama.
Narada
Sudama.
Muni.
Sudama,
Sudama.
yes.
Sudama.
Yes.
Kuchela.
Sudama
Krishna's
Brahmana
friend,
also. What's that, Aja?
Krishna's friend Kuchela. Is Sudama same? No.
Yes, I think that's another name of Sudama.
Oh, okay.
So yes, when Sudama went to Dwarka also, Krishna had washed his lotus feet and he puts the water on his head also. No? Krishna continued, O best of all the Brahmanas, you should always remain satisfied, for if a Brahmana is always self-satisfied, he will not deviate from his prescribed duties. And simply by sticking to one's prescribed duties, everyone, especially a Brahmana, can attain the highest perfection of all desires. Even if a person is as opulent as the king of heaven Indra, if he is not satisfied, he inevitably has to transmigrate from one planet to another. Such a person can never be happy under any circumstances. But if one's mind is satisfied, even if he is bereft of all possessions, he can be happy living anywhere. So see this very, very important point. If a person is as opulent as the king of as the king of heaven Indra, if he is not satisfied, he inevitably has to transmigrate from one planet to another, and such a person will never be happy under any circumstances. So we should learn, we should cultivate the habit of being satisfied, being satisfied with what we have, what our duties, just execute Krishna's instruction and be satisfied. If we are hankering, then there will be no peace and there will be no happiness. And it means that we have to be transmigrating more and more through different bodies. This instruction by Krishna to the Brahmana is very significant. The purport is that a true Brahmana should not be disturbed in any situation. In this modern age, Kali Yuga, the so-called Brahmanas have accepted the abominable position of Shudras or less and still want to pass as qualified Brahmanas. Actually, a qualified Brahmana always sticks to his duties and never accepts those of a Shudra or of one less than a Shudra. It is advised in the authorized scriptures that a Brahmana may, under awkward circumstances, accept the profession of a Kshatriya or even a Vaishya, but never is he to accept the profession of a Shudra. Lord Krishna declared that a Brahmana will never be disturbed by any adverse conditions if he scrupulously sticks to his religious principles. In conclusion, Lord Sri Krishna said, I offer my respectful obeisances to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and the Brahmanas are always self-satisfied, and the Vaishnavas are always engaged in actual welfare activities for human society. They are the best friends of the people in general. They are free from false egoism and are always in a peaceful condition of mind. So in the modern time, the Brahmanas have become even less than Shudras, but still they want to pass as qualified Brahmanas. So when it comes to executing the duty of a Brahman, they don't want to do. They don't have the qualities of a Brahman, but they want to receive the respect from everybody as, the kind of respect that one should give to the Brahmanas. So this is what this line means. No? This is the position of the Brahmanas in Kali Yuga, unfortunately. Okay, here now, see this. A Brahmana may, under awkward circumstances, accept the profession of a Kshatriya. Can you think of such a personality from the Mahabharata?
Dronacharya?
Dronacharya, yes. Dronacharya was a Brahmana and he was fighting the war under extraordinary circumstances, no? Because he was employed by Hastinapur as a teacher, and now there is this war. So he is feeling obliged that yes, he is going to have to fight the war. So he is doing the role of a Kshatriya. Yes, very nice, Swapna. So here you have photos of how other Brahmanas also Krishna received very respectfully. Can you identify this personality on the screen?
Narad Muni.
Narada Muni, yes. Narada Muni had visited Dwarka. At that time, Krishna had washed his feet as well. And this
How
person
did
here is
you identify as Narada Muni? What is? What is the sign?
Okay, Swapna, can you tell us how did you identify him as Narada Muni?
Because I know the story. So I just guess that's it.
Okay, she already knows the story.
Oh, okay, there is no way. Okay.
See, when Narada Muni he visited Dwarka, he made him sit again in his own seat, and he
Oh,
washed his feet and he put the water on his head. So one of Krishna's name is Brahmanya Deva. One of Krishna's name is Brahmanya Deva, which means that he is the Lord who favors the Brahmanas. The Lord who favors the Brahmanas.
yeah, the second picture clearly you can make out it is Sudama, right?
Yeah, this is Sudama. And then here,
Maybe because I know the story of Sudama.
okay. And the last picture,
Rukmini Devi
Rukmini Devi.
or Radharani.
Srimati Radharani, yes, correct. So, the Srimad Bhagavatam describes how Krishna is always decorating the feet of Srimati Radharani uh, with the red paint, no, with the red paint, and decorates her feet with ankle bells, and he feels that he's most fortunate to simply satisfy the tips of the toes of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So, this is this is how Krishna deals with the Brahmanas and the devotees. Srimati Radharani is the best worshipper of Krishna. No one can worship Krishna better than Srimati Radharani. She is the topmost in worshippers of Krishna. So Krishna is very happy just to satisfy the tips of the toes of Srimati Radharani, and he thinks that he's very fortunate for that. Coming back to Krishna book, Lord Krishna then desired to know about the rulers, Kshatriyas in the Brahmanas kingdom. So he inquired whether the citizens of the kingdom were all happy. A king's qualification is judged by the temperament of the people in the kingdom. If they are happy in all respects, it is to be understood that the king is honest and is executing his duties rightly. Krishna said that the king in whose kingdom the citizens are happy is very dear to him. Of course, Krishna could understand that the Brahmana had come with a confidential message. Therefore, he said, if you have no objection, I give you liberty to speak about your mission. So, Krishna is inquiring about him also about the people in the kingdom. And if the people in the kingdom are happy, he knows that the king is perfectly executing his duties. This is how a leader should be, keeping the interests of the people before his own self-interest. So, if the people are happy, then it means the king is not very happy, as it happened in the case of Lord Ramachandra, no? Because the people were unhappy about him bringing Sita and they were questioning Sita's chastity. Lord Ram, playing the role of a perfect leader, he quote unquote banished, because in technical terms it was not a banishment because he sent her to Valmiki's ashram, not out of the kingdom, and the ashram was within his kingdom. But he had to send Sita away, no? But in a kingdom where the king is very happy, then the people are not happy, because that kind of a king, he's only looking at his own self-interest, his own sense gratification. So then the people are not being taken care of according to the Vedic system.
Mataji, can I ask you something?
Yes.
It's about Lord Rama. So, did Sita Devi, when Lord Rama took that decision to send her away, did Sita Devi actually understood Lord Rama, or was she upset?
She understood it. In fact, she agreed with Lord Rama's decision. See, when Janak Maharaj he handed over Sita to Lord Ram, he told Lord Ram that my daughter is Dharmacharini, which means that she is the follower of Dharma. As long as whatever you do is within Dharma, she will be with you. But if you do not follow Dharma, then she is going to speak up. And Sita never protested what Lord Ram did, because she understood the political situation and she agreed that yes, what Lord Ram is doing is very much within the Vedic framework and he is fulfilling his duties as a king. If he was doing something not dharmic, she would have definitely spoken up. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Thus, being very much satisfied by these transcendental pastimes with the Lord, the Brahmana narrated the whole story of his mission in coming to see Krishna. He got out he got out the letter Rukmini had written to Krishna and said, "These are the words of Princess Rukmini. My dear Krishna, of infallible and most beautiful one, any human being who happens to hear about your transcendental form and pastimes immediately absorbs through his ears your name, fame, and qualities. Thus all his material pangs subside, and he fixes your form in his heart. Through such transcendental love for you, he always sees you within himself, and by this process, all his desires are fulfilled. Similarly, I have heard of your transcendental qualities. I may be shameless in expressing myself directly, but you have captivated me and taken my heart. You may doubt my steadiness of character, since how could an unmarried young girl like me approach you without any shame? But, my dear Mukunda, you are the supreme lion among human beings, the supreme person among persons. Any girl, though not yet having left her home, or even any woman of the highest chastity would desire to marry you, being captivated by your unprecedented character, knowledge, opulence, and position. So she's saying that she has given her heart to Krishna. I know that you are the husband of the goddess of fortune and are very kind toward your devotees. Therefore, I have decided to become your eternal maid servant. My dear Lord, I dedicate my life and soul unto your lotus feet. I have selected your lordship as my husband, and I therefore request you to accept me as your wife. You are the supreme powerful, O lotus-eyed one. Now I belong to you. If that which is enjoyable for the lion to eat is taken away by the jackal, it will be a ludicrous affair. Therefore, I request you to immediately take care of me before I am taken away by Shishupal and other princes like him. My dear Lord, in my previous life, I may have done public welfare work like digging wells and planting trees, or pious activities such as performing ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices and serving superiors like the spiritual master, Brahmanas, and Vaishnavas. By these activities, perhaps I have pleased the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. If this be so, then I wish that you, Lord Krishna, the brother of Lord Balaram, please come here and catch hold of my hand so that I shall not be touched by Shishupal and his company. Rukmini's marriage with Shishupal was already settled. Therefore, she suggested that Krishna kidnap her so that this might be changed. This sort of marriage in which the girl is kidnapped by force is known as Rakshasa and is practiced among Kshatriyas or men with an administrative martial spirit. Because her marriage was already arranged to take place the next day, Rukmini suggested that Krishna come here incognito to kidnap her and then fight with Shishupal and other allies like the king of Magadha. Knowing that no one could conquer Krishna, who would certainly emerge victorious, she addressed him as Ajita, the unconquerable Lord. So it's Rukmini who is suggesting that Krishna, you should kidnap me, because the next day she is going to be married off to Shishupal. Rukmini told Krishna not to be concerned that the fighting would take place within the palace and that many of her family members, including other women, might thus be wounded or even killed. As the king of a country thinks of diplomatic ways to achieve his object, Rukmini, being the daughter of a king, was diplomatic in suggesting how this unnecessary and undesirable killing could be avoided. She explained that it was the custom of her family to visit the temple of goddess Durga, their family deity, before a marriage. The Kshatriya kings were mostly staunch Vaishnavas, worshipping Lord Vishnu in either the Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayan form. Still, for their material welfare, they used to worship goddess Durga. They never made the mistake, however, of accepting the demigods as the supreme lord on the level of Vishnu Tattva, as do some less intelligent men. To avoid the unnecessary killing of her relatives, Rukmini suggested that it would be easiest for him to kidnap her while she was either going from the palace to the temple or else returning home. So, in order to avoid unnecessarily killing and wounding of women and other family members, she's saying that you can kidnap me when I'm on the way or either when I'm returning from my visit to the temple of goddess Durga. So it's her family custom to worship goddess Durga before the marriage, and she's giving him the information that you can do this at this time so that there is least violence to other family members. She also explained to Krishna why she was anxious to marry him, even though her marriage was to take place with Shishupal, who was also qualified, being the son of a great king. Rukmini said that she did not think anyone was greater than Krishna, not even Lord Shiva, who was known as Mahadev, the greatest of all demigods. Lord Shiva, who seeks the pleasure of Lord Krishna in order to be delivered from his entanglement in the quality of ignorance within the material world. Although Lord Shiva is the greatest of all great souls, Mahatmas, he keeps on his head the purifying water of the Ganges, which emanates from a hole in this material universe made by the toe of Lord Vishnu. Lord Shiva is in charge of the material quality of ignorance, and to keep himself in a transcendental position, he always meditates on Lord Vishnu or Krishna and always tries to purify himself with the water of the Ganges. Now, which story is this?
Vaman Dev.
Yes, Vamana Dev.
He
What?
stretches out his feet so high that
Bali Maharaj.
the water comes out through the tip of his toe. And that's the Ganges.
Oh yeah, you just make a hole in there, and and the water comes from. Okay, I
Yeah,
remember
so
you explaining this. Yeah.
yes, so this was a pastor of Vamanadev and Bali Maharaj whom Vamanadev begged for 3 steps of land. So when he took his second step, he covered everything um, above. No, so when he stretches legs with the tip of his toe, it created a hole in the outer covering of the universe, and the water has trickled inside the universe. It's not that the water is coming from his toe, that water is touching his toe and falling down. Okay, now what water is this beyond the universe? Which water is that?
Shira Sagar.
Ganges water.
Ganges water is a combination of that water which is coming down from the universe and the water that we'll discuss later. But who exactly is lying in that water beyond this universe?
Vish.
What ocean is that?
Mahavishnu.
It's not Shira Sagar. Is it Shira Sagar?
No.
It's the other one. Oh. um. Oh, forgot.
Garbhodakshay Vishnu.
Gangotri, I think so.
No.
So which Vishnu is within the universe?
Kshirodakaya.
Vishnu.
Garbo. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I didn't put the names. So give me the names of the Vishnus.
Is it Garbhodakashaya Vishnu?
Vishnu,
Garbhodakash.
Shirodakshay Vishnu, and Garbhodakshay Vishnu.
Yeah, but which Vishnu is within the universe?
Garbhodakshay.
Mahavishnu.
Yes, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu is within the universe. And which is the Vishnu who's beyond the universe?
Mahavishnu.
Mahavishnu or
Is
other
it
name?
Shiro?
Not Shirodakashaya Vishnu. Shirodakashaya Vishnu is the Paramatma, Super Soul.
Oh, okay. I forgot that name.
Karanodakashaya Vishnu. Okay, Karanodakashaya Vishnu.
Karna Ocean. Okay, so it's
Yes,
Karna.
Karana Ocean. That is correct. So the water that is trickling down from that hole is the Karana Ocean actually. See, the spiritual world is something like this. It's unlimited sky. And here you have you have Goloka Vrindavan in the spiritual sky, and these are all Vaikuntha planets. Okay. One corner of the spiritual world is this material world. And this Karana Ocean is also called as the Viraja River. Viraja River. It demarcates it's like a division between the spiritual world and the material world. So this is like a demarcation. In this Karana Ocean lies Karanodakashai Vishnu. And within that Karana Ocean, Karanodakashai Vishnu is lying, or Mahavishnu is lying, and he is creating planets by his breathing. You can see here. This is Karanodakashai Vishnu or Mahavishnu. He is creating planets with his breathing. And then inside each universe enters Garbhodakashai Vishnu, who's an expansion of Karanodakashai Vishnu or Mahavishnu. And then within the universe, you have here the 14 planetary systems. Okay. So when Vamana stretches leg within this universe, within one X-shaped universe or within one Brahmand, it's creating this hole. So the water which from here, which is demarcating the spiritual and the material worlds, has trickled down inside the universe. Okay. And then what happens?
Shiva will hold that
Then the water is
destroyer.
coming trickling down. So remember, there are 14 planetary systems in our universe. So that water is trickling down, and now if it's going to hit the earth plane, the earth cannot take the force of that water. So Lord Shiva takes that water on his head. But before that, what is happening? Before Lord Shiva, see, the water is trickling down, right?
Mhm.
And before it comes to the head of Lord Shiva, what is happening?
Lord Brahma
Touching
cleans
the toe of the Vanamdev.
Yes,
feet of
Lord
Vamandev
Brahma, he
to
is washing the lotus feet of Vamana Dev with the water in his water pot, Kamandalu. No? So with that water, so this Ganges water which is trickling down is water that is coming from the Karana ocean where Karanodakashayi Vishnu is residing. That water is touching the lotus feet of Vamanadev. That water is being combined with the water from Lord Brahma's Kamandalu. And then that water is going to Shiva's head. And then that water is coming down as the Ganges. So Ganges is not an ordinary water. That Ganges is water of the Karana ocean, is the water that is touching the toe of Vamanadev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the water that is also coming from Brahma's Kamandalu and being washed there. It is a water that has touched the head of Lord Shiva, and then that is the Ganges water. So it's not ordinary water. We should not misunderstand.
Okay.
Therefore, Rukmini knew very well that obtaining the favor of Krishna was not easy, since even Lord Shiva must purify himself for this purpose. Surely it would be difficult for Rukmini, who was the only daughter of a Kshatriya king. Thus, she desired to dedicate her life to observe severe austerities and penances such as fasting and going without bodily comforts. If it were not possible in this lifetime to gain Krishna's favor by these activities, she was prepared to die from such austerities and to undergo similar difficulties life after life, lifetime after lifetime. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that pure devotees of the Lord execute devotional service with great determination. Such determination, as exhibited by Rukmini Devi, is the only price for purchasing Krishna's favor. One should be strongly determined in Krishna consciousness, and that is the way to ultimate success. So, if one wants to attain success, there should be strong determination, because we are, see, Krishna consciousness means that you are constantly at a war against Maya in her domain. So you are fighting the enemy in the enemy's house, which means the enemy in his own house is going to be more powerful than you, obviously, right? Because that person is in his own surrounding. So when we take to Krishna consciousness, we are fighting Maya in Maya's domain. So for that, we require a lot of determination, day after day after day after day after day. With full determination, we have to go ahead in Krishna consciousness. This story, Srila Prabhupada explains in one purport in the Bhagavad Gita. He talks about the determination of a sparrow. So the sparrow had laid some eggs, and it so happened that the ocean comes and takes the eggs away. So the sparrow tells the ocean, return the eggs, otherwise I will dry you up. So the ocean starts to laugh, because this sparrow, an insignificant sparrow, how is this insignificant sparrow going to dry up the entire ocean? No? So the sparrow is very, very angry that the eggs have been taken away by the ocean and the ocean is not responding. So she starts to take water from the ocean in its beak and throw it away. So she wants to dry up the ocean by taking the water in the beak and throwing it away, no, little by little by little. Of course, it's an impossible task. But what happens is her sincerity attracts the attention of Garuda. Garuda feels compassion for his sister bird, because Garuda also is a bird, an eagle, no, the carrier of Lord Vishnu. So he feels compassion for the sparrow, and then he tells the ocean, return the eggs, otherwise I will dry you up. So now, of course, Garuda is this great powerful personality, and the ocean immediately returns the eggs of the sparrow. So what does the story mean? It means that yes, we are insignificant. We don't have any potency power like this sparrow. But if we are sincere and we are determined, then it will attract the attention of Guru and Krishna. And when we attract the attention of Guru and Krishna with the mercy of Guru and Krishna, then mission impossible can become mission unstoppable. So determination is very, very important. Determination is very, very important. After relaying Rukmini Devi's statement to Krishna, the Brahmana said, "My dear Krishna, chief of the Yadu dynasty, I have brought this confidential message for you from Rukmini. Now it is placed before you for your consideration. After due deliberation, you may act as you please, but if you want to do something, you must do it immediately. There is not much time left for action." Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 52nd chapter of Kṛṣṇa the Raṇacora. On that note, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we come to the end of today's presentation. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Mataji, one question.
Yes.
So Krishna received this letter in the house, in this palace.
Yes.
But he was running away from the battlefield.
No, he
Because
ran
of
away
the-
from, see, he ran from the battlefield. Then he has reached Dwarka. He jumped, remember, he jumped from that mountain. And Jarasandha thinks that now Krishna and Balaram are dead. So Jarasandha goes back to his city, his kingdom, and Krishna and Balaram, they return to Dwarka.
So
And
when
then
did
the
he get?
messenger comes to Dwarka.
So that means after he has returned to Dwarka, Krishna has got the message.
Yes.
But while he was in the battlefield, he knew that this letter is already written and coming to him.
Oh, yes, good question. Yes, yeah, because Krishna knows past, present, and future. So he knows that, okay, this particular thing is going to come up now. He knows that Rukmini is going to be
Okay.
married to Shishupal the next day. No, he knows that it's going to happen. So he rushes back to Dwarka so that he can get the letter. Yes, very nice,
Okay.
Ravina. That's
Okay,
very
thank
sharp
you.
of you.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
for homework, we have to calculate the 27. How much is 27 Chatur-yuga?
Yeah, 27 Chatur Yuga in Brahma's years and 27 Chatur Yuga in earthly time. So
Okay.
how many years of Brahma have passed and how much time on planet Earth has passed? I'm sorry,
Okay.
how many years of planet Earth has passed and how much time of Brahma has passed? Because Brahma's time is less, no? So how many minutes of Lord Brahma and how many years on planet Earth have passed in 27 Chaturyugas? This is your homework. If you just submit your homework, you will get 5 marks. If you submit homework with correct answer, you get 10 marks.
Oh, that's good. 5 marks at least.
No, don't. I want you to arrive at the right answer.
No, we can make sure 5 marks.
Yeah.
If I answer.
Yeah. Okay.
Mataji, can you put the homework in the WhatsApp group? You remember?
Okay, I can do that.
Thank you.
Okay, are we ready for the exam?
Yes.
Priyanka, you have your hand raised?
Mataji, I have some question. That is why.
Yes.
So the first question is
Oh, wait,
when
one second. There is some
the
disturbance. 1 second, there's some disturbance. I can't hear you. Yeah, now.
yeah, there was one slide that where it showed about Muchukunda, where there was a statement that it was written the lack of possessiveness and mood of renunciation. What does it indicate that Muchukunda did not have any possession and he did not want the renunciation? That is why Krishna allowed him to be born again as a Brahmin, or does it indicate that he wanted renunciation, or was he in the mood of renunciation?
Let's go to that statement better. The first slide I think you're talking about. This one?
It was not written in the book. You showed from somewhere else.
Yeah?
This one, the last second line.
Becoming a universally respected and learned Brahmana, you will attain me alone due to your lack of possessiveness and mood of renunciation. No, because he's saying a Brahmana who is a Dvijavara, he is the topmost of the Dvijas. That's the nature of a Brahmana. And because you will have the nature of a learned Brahmana, which is lack of possessiveness and mood of renunciation, therefore you will attain me. He's not saying that you have it, but because as a Brahmana in that in that body you will have these qualities, you will remain in my association. The reason why he cannot get it now is because of his extraordinary height, that's all. But Krishna already said that he's a pure devotee.
Okay, fine. And then there is one statement written in the book that different classes of people in the social system are engaged in various professions, and when one inquires as to the well-being of a particular person, he should do so on the basis of that person's occupation. Can you elaborate on the statement? I mean, I'm not able to understand.
Yeah, because see, that Brahmana who has come, he's a Brahmana. So Krishna is asking questions related to his profession as a Brahmana, because he will be able to respond to those questions appropriately because he himself is a Brahmana. But if you ask a Brahmana something about the activities of a Shudra, it is not an appropriate question. It's like you're asking an economic student about trigonometry. No, so you ask about the person according to the profession in which he is in. That is appropriate. Uh, that's what that line means.
Oh, okay, good. And
Because
then
you
so
ask appropriate questions. See, questions when we ask to people, it should be appropriate. It should not be inappropriate. It's like, for example, they also say, no, usually with sannyasis, we do not speak about grihastha issues. For that, we approach other senior grihastha Vaishnavas. Like Srila Prabhupada would get his disciples married, but he would say that actually I'm a sannyasi, I should not be doing this. But because of the circumstances, he has made the adjustment and he would get his. So you should see what is a professional person and appropriately ask the questions accordingly. Unless it's an extraordinary situation where you have to adjust according to time, place, and circumstances.
And and then there's last question that about when you said the Danda Devi is a combination of three waters. One is Tarno Ocean, then the second you said the toe of Vaman Dev, and the third you said from the pot of Brahmaji.
No. It's a combination of the water that is coming from the pot of Brahmaji and washing the feet of Vamanadev. And there's also the water that is trickling down through outside the universe, which is the Karana ocean. And it's also an expansion of the Lord himself, which is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But I'm saying that the water actually, yes, it's trickling down through there. It touches the feet of Vamanadev, and also the water from Brahmaji's, which is touching the toe of Vamanadev. And then the water touches the head of Lord Shiva and then it comes down. But the combination of three rivers is three waters is that the third is that is also a expansion of the Lord himself. How that details is not there in the Bhagavatam.
And
But
then
because
one
it's the ocean in which, in that very water, the Lord is there, in that Karana ocean, Karanodakashayi Vishnu is there. So it's touching the body of the Lord also.
So basically, it is the combination of two. The water from the pot touching the feet of Vaman Dev and then coming down, and the second one is the Tarano Ocean, and the third one is the expansion of the
Yes,
expansion.
correct. That's what the
And then
Bhagavatam describes. There is a whole chapter, the descent of the Ganges, in the Bhagavatam. You can read that.
yes. And then the last question that when you talked about the determination and when you gave the example, in my mind I was thinking that that is only possible. It is only possible when the determination is applied in the right place. Not
Yes,
any.
determination should always be for your spiritual advancement. If the determination is for your material advancement, then it's like hankering for some broken pieces of glass. What is the use?
Yeah. And then only Krishna helps, right? When we are
Yes.
determined.
Yes. If your determination is for materialistic things, then if it is not in your karma, you will not get it anyway, because it's not in your karma. The thing is, the rules of the game are broken when your desire is spiritual, when your desire is for Krishna, or if you are hankering for uh, Krishna prema, then it attracts, because that is sincerity. No, if it's for your own sense gratification, how it will attract the mercy of Guru and Krishna? It will not happen.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam. Okay. So here is the link to the exam in your chat. Your time starts now.